Hey guys, it's Jack Wyldes. This episode of Must Clank, me and Proxy sit down and talk all about creator coins. Yes, the thing that's been plaguing, and maybe in a good way, the timeline. Now, at the time of this episode, we recorded it on a Wednesday. The next day, Jesse releases an episode with Bankless where he clears up, a lot of my concern and says a lot of things that I really like. And so, again, I'm shifting towards what do I like? I adopted Clanker really fast, but I've always been a one Clanker kind of guy, you know? Maybe content coins shouldn't be one. Maybe it should be multiple. Maybe it should be everything. I'm not sure. So I'm inviting Jesse to come on and talk to me, a creator who's been trying to actively make a living in this space for 4 years. And also the co-creator and co-CEO of Clanker, Proxy. I think that would be an awesome episode where we talk all about the creator economy and how coins and how Clankers and how Zora and how these tools could help people like me. Listen to two really smart people talk and then have me. That would be a fun episode. I'm just saying. Just saying. So, Jesse, come on. Must Clank, baby. All right, without further ado, here are my initial thoughts and with Proxy. Have a good one. Hope you guys are having a great day. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Must Clank. I'm Jack Wyldes, and I'm here with the main man himself. What's going on, Alex?
How you doing, Jack? Great to be here. Thanks for making time for me, brother.
Oh yeah, man, I'm always excited. So on the show, obviously, we've had a lot of different formulas and we've talked about a lot of different things. Today, we're going to hit on one topic. It's going to be quick, in your face, but we're covering one thing, and that is content coins. Both of our takes, which could be differing, including takes from other people out there on chain. And I think the reason we wanted to cover this so much was probably because of the recent Zora spike, and it's been a topic of conversation on X and Warpcast a whole lot lately. Where do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I mean, Zora recently moved away from minting NFTs and adopted entirely this kind of like new coin model. A lot of the Zora changes relate to views Jacob has articulated in writing, and Jesse has talked a lot about on Twitter and Warpcast about tokenizing content. I think this is like a whole topic. I don't want to misrepresent their views, but I would just say that like both Zora and Jesse / Base are really excited about the idea that creators can turn every single piece of content that they produce into a coin. And Zora is the kind of platform that is pursuing this most in the biggest way that I know. They're not the only people building around this. Belief Social, a launchpad that's much smaller and less well known, but actually has a really cracked team. They were doing like tokenizing posts prior to Clankers launch. And yeah, so it's kind of just like a meta that's getting a lot of attention on Twitter. There's been a lot of debate around content coins lately. I had a little mini debate today with Jesse about them. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think a content coin is, Jack?
Well, we have been trying to find ways to make money on chain for a long time as content creators.
As in like content creators, like you and Toady. Yeah.
Yes. And so we have minted things. We definitely have done this, like collect our episodes or help us out. We've tried all sorts of things to make money on chain. And I think that the collecting an episode thing seems better for me, the creator, kind of. As in, I'm the type of person who doesn't really want to see people lose money. I don't really want to see these crazy ups and downs that come with a piece of content. But
it comes with like speculative trading.
Yeah, sorry, that's a better way of putting it. That comes with, yes, if you're speculatively trading that piece of content. That to me would put a lot of stress and pressure. I know from the one Clanker I do have that can be really difficult. And to me, that was like pretty close to a content coin. but it was supposed to be a representation of me who's going to continue making content. And it was more just like, hey, these things are going to do well. Now,
And I would argue, dude, like honestly, I would say that from my perspective, I watch coins launch and die all day long. Like I always say this publicly, but like 99.99% of coins don't have like the either like product behind them, mimetic ability, attention, whatever, you know, sauce you want to attribute to coins surviving. Like most coins die. They just like don't last long. The market buys them, dumps them, and moves on. And that's just kind of a reality, whether we're talking about Zora, Clanker, Pump, content coins, product coins. And so I think that like Must, in my mind, was a success because it brought attention to your work. It got you access to a new audience and it made you money. But that doesn't mean that like a coin is the right format for your content.
right.
And I'm, you know, I've also stated this publicly, but I'm definitely skeptical of the content coin model. I want to be clear though, just before we get too deep into the debate, Jesse and Jacob have been talking about content coins as being different from meme coins. Jesse has a good post here. He kind of runs through these differences. Each piece of content is a separate coin. That's a huge difference, right? Like we've seen creator coins, whether it's Friend Tech or Dracula, the video token trading app, or Moxie. These are like literally every post is a coin. The value of that coin is connected just to that one thing. There are no expectations. So whereas like on Clanker, what we see working well is when projects are able to like build audiences and kind of develop community that loves the product or what they're building over time. And that is 100% an obligation. There are definite expectations. People are sometimes like betting on specific financial data, right? They're like looking at revenue. People typically only create one Clanker. With content coins, you can create as many as you want. You're encouraged to. The expectation is that Jesse is going to create content coin after content coin. And then this final one is probably where I'm most skeptical. But the idea is basically that like only the biggest content coins will turn into meme coins. And meme coins are kind of this classic thing we all know and love and hate and talk about a lot. And meme coins are really the pump model. And I think the big tension here in a lot of the debate has basically been around this sense of like, I feel like the pitch about content coins is about supporting creators, but the reality of content coins is people buying them and then losing money. And so you're trying to kind of map a like patronage model onto a fan model onto market dynamics. And there's a tension there that's super real.
Here's what I don't like about it. I'm a fan of thoughtful content, right?
Yep.
I enjoy long form. I enjoy work that goes in the work and the attention to detail and things. And I'm not saying that all short form is like that and everything. But what I'm saying is there has been a huge switch online, especially around TikTok, where short form content took over. Then it's becoming reacting to other people's content. Then it's just slop. It has literally gotten to a point where people call it a slop meta. That's a real thing. My worry is that this content coin model is not promoting fire pieces of content.
Yeah.
It's actually promoting just put shit out as much as you can. Put everything out and just mint, and like hope, not mint, I'm sorry, like make coins, it's so, to me, I think this is fast tracking really bad stuff for a while. And maybe eventually that will change and people will kind of like, why they won't be, collecting those things. They won't be buying those coins, and things will change. But right now, I think this is a fast track to really shitty work.
I think that I totally know what you're talking about. I also would just caveat this with I feel like there's truth to that kind of in general about coins, that there's a lot of slop with coins. We see this with Clanker. Clanker gets spammed some days. We get this endless kind of slop. It sucks, right? It's bad. It's not good. But that doesn't mean that people can't do really meaningful things with coins. And I think the same is true for content. And by some extension, it's true of content coins. This guy Ripe on Twitter and Warpcast, he did a really cool content coin. It's a dynamic image, so it changes every day. And
I know that one. Yeah, it's great.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the value of that art is not connected to the kind of coin market. I think my central issue with content coins is it feels like we are trying to basically take this thing that people in crypto love doing, which is trading, and we're trying to make it benefit content creators without actually driving new demand for content. And I just think it's kind of doomed to fail. I feel like the way that content creators will grow and sustain, careers in crypto is when there's more demand for their work. And that's something that there'll be many solutions to, but we can't invent demand by giving people coins and say okay, now there's going to be this audience that wants to bid content.
Right.
Whereas when these coins were NFTs, there wasn't a strong bid after the initial kind of mania of 2022 and 3. And that it feels like I totally understand where Jesse and Jacob are coming at this from. Tokenization feels inevitable. It makes sense that content that goes viral has some kind of value. It makes sense that the market might help us discover that value. Those are all kind of very logical things, but it doesn't make sense to me that every single piece of content needs to be a coin, or that I will ever want to buy a coin that doesn't have some path towards growth. And this is where my Clanker mindset is just I look at this data every day. We see coins winning when they can articulate a story about their product, their revenue, their path to getting more attention over time. It's really fucking hard. It's very rare that projects are capable of doing this. Even our biggest projects like Clanker, Banker, these are projects that have been just objectively very successful in terms of earning revenue, having higher market caps for a long time, cultivating communities. We struggle. We have days where our volume is low, our price is down. And so the idea that Base is going to grow by focusing trading attention around these assets that have even less demand and don't come with any clear path towards growth, that to me is a disconnect. It's kind of wishful thinking. Now, I also want to be clear. This is my opinion. It's based on the volume today. It's based on the content coin models that exist in the market. I think this stuff can change. I think people can build, better ways of connecting content and coins. But I am definitely a skeptic for the model that's live.
Let's talk about maybe the issue, or from a trader's side, why people. I agree. I think people really just want we inherently like trading when it comes to this
this group of people.
Well, in crypto,
crypto,
trading, that's what we do.
That's
trade.
what we do. Yeah, everyone can say, "Oh, it's all about the art. It's all about this. It's all about that." And the truth is, when it comes down to it, everyone loves trading and they love money, and that's why they got stuck and hooked in this place. Now, I think it is getting bigger. There are people who appreciate both, but at the end of the day, trading is important. So, watching Jesse had put out this tweet I saw when searching for kind of this thing, and it was basically like watching people on Zora repeatedly, make 10 or take 10 cents, turn it into $1 is really cool. And then Raj wrote that noticing, is there a problem with bots now? So is it going to be that early issue where every single content is going to be sniped out and then just flatline?
So listen, I actually think the bigger issue is lack of demand. That's always going to be a bigger issue than bots. Most coins can survive even like a very severe snipe if there's meaningful demand. That doesn't mean that like you want that snipe to happen, but demand is almost always a far bigger influence on whether coins survive over time than sniping.
For sure.
But what's interesting about this is Zora just released like an entirely new deployment flow. They're working with this company called Doppler. They're actually a protocol. I'll link you them. And Doppler's interesting, low key, like Clanker. On the feed, we sometimes talk about our competitors, and I feel like people think of like Zora or Ape Store or Pump or I don't know, some of the smaller base launch pads. Internally, we talk more about something like Doppler. They basically are experts at Uniswap. They know all the complicated pool math, and they create markets for projects that are deploying some kind of launch pad. So they built Zora's launch pad. And when they announced it, they went as far as saying, so the big thing that they changed, without getting too in the weeds, is the starting price of a content coin on Zora is now $22. The entire market cap of the coin at launch is $22. And they have this post, I'll send it to you so you can throw it up there. They explicitly said that we were able to do this while also reducing sniping. If you check the studio chat, And when I saw that, I was like, oh, damn. I think sniping is a really complicated issue. This is not meant to be shade at Doppler. Those guys are great, super smart, have learned a lot just like following Austin. But I think it's very bold to ever claim that your deployment flow has beaten the bots. Sniping is constantly evolving. The strategies these bots use is never static. There's never just one change you can make. There's always trade-offs. Oftentimes sniping is I kind of just see it as part of the environment of launching coins. But today there was a really big launch on Zora. Base, the literal Base brand, launched a coin, and it was sniped to a really significant degree. So this one bot, and I think several bots sniped it, but this one bot got 25% of the token supply with 1.5 ETH. And I don't even know what their total exit was, but they made a lot of money. So that's them selling.
This is all their, wow.
And, and that's their early snipe. And the thing that's slightly crazy here is Base is taking a public risk, right? They're trying to support Zora. They're trying to support content coins, which Jesse has been talking about publicly a lot lately. And so they do the logical thing and launch a content coin. And whenever Base drops anything, people go crazy buying it. And that's what happened here. But there was a pretty like immediate negative impact of, I'm not sure if this chart is just the sniper exiting or people like realizing that this was sniped very badly, but that's the danger of starting at such a low price, is it's really hard to avoid this.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, this is one of those things that you look at and you're like, oh, damn, that's
Dude,
I mean,
it's hard to not see this and be like, oh, damn, like that's a rug or like that's a scam.
oh, and then when you look at this and then you realize like, wait, this is like legit, like this hit 14, 15, 16 million. This wasn't
Dude,
just
still
like
at 3.4 million market cap.
That's wild.
This is 100% the number one coin by market cap on Zora today. Like still.
Yeah, there's no way it's not. Now,
yeah, I mean, I actually like probably feel slightly less critical of Jesse and Base than maybe people on Twitter about this. I think they're authentically trying to support projects building on Base. They can't know like that this is necessarily going to happen. A lot of smart people claimed that like this wouldn't happen. There's many things you could say, but I think one of this like incident kind of demonstrates this tension we were talking about, which is basically this piece of content has zero like path to revenue. It's either a huge meme that proliferates, gets tons of attention over and over and over, or it's going to dump. It's going to dump hard and people will lose a lot of money. And I just don't know if that's like the user outcome that we want with coins. I know that I work every day to avoid it happening and that it's really fucking hard. And so it's hard for me to imagine just doing a huge U-turn and being like, it doesn't matter. Coins don't have to mean anything.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's like early on in Clankers too, there was points where we were like, yeah, I mean, coins can be stupid and fun, not really mean anything. And then I think over time, but over time, it feels like Clankers found its way as being like a project launch pad almost, instead of just you could be, it can be everything. Like you said, anything can be clanked, but I do feel like it's finding a good niche or a good like lane of like people who are serious about projects are launching Clankers instead of.
Definitely. I think like Clanker is on one end of a spectrum and content coins are on another end of the spectrum, in that like we explicitly advise projects to like only launch one coin, to make it super meaningful, to integrate it meaningfully with their, project or product or revenue or utility. It's not to say that like that always happens, but that's definitely like how we view coins succeeding on Base. The hard thing is with memes is you just never know what's going to hit. Like a meme coin is special in part because for whatever reason, people love the meme. And sometimes like there's manipulation of these markets. There's plenty of like wild shit that goes on behind the scenes, but at least with like a Clanker meme, the only ones that have taken off have been super organic, like stuff that I wouldn't have expected would hit. So, I'm always wary of trying to like, king make with a meme coin.
It is really crazy. Honestly, I think, in this episode, it's a big, really, this is just kind of us having an open conversation. And what I would implore all of you to do is please in the comments, wherever you watch this, if you collect this on pod, see, that's different. This will probably be on pod. So it's one of those things where it's like, I still fully want people to be able to monetize content in a certain way. Of course, but it just terrifies me to have something like what happened earlier, like what happened with this, But anyways, I really
let me make one other point there, which is just like one of the reasons this happened is that Zora and Doppler decided to lower the market cap to such an extremely low price. And the idea here is that like most of these pieces of content have some value, probably very little, but you kind of let the market find that value. Mm-hmm. And, hopefully if a meme has a lot of value, has a lot of attention, a lot of interest, the value will grow over time and accumulate to that meme. But the reality of crypto markets, especially on Base right now, is that like it's the biggest platforms and people that command attention. So when Base launches a content coin, everyone rushes to buy, including bots that actually were able to snipe and were able to extract a bunch of money from users that are following people like Jesse and Base and trying to like, you know, follow their ethos towards something that is meaningful, that is positive sum. They want to support people. And I kind of just feel like they should go mint like our podcast episode if they like our podcast. Because at the end of the day, you're taking a lot of time to make content with me. I'm taking time out of my day to make this show. We're doing it because we love fucking yapping about crypto. I don't think that needs to have upside for it to be valuable. I think that like if we were building a podcasting product, maybe that's a different story, but not for this today. And that's my just like gut instinct with content coins.
I think that last thing, I really like the way you just put it. I feel like that you should be able to be supported without having to have some crazy upside. Like we should be able to make a good piece of content that isn't like, hey, you're going to get rich off of this thing. You're going to, you guys out there, the fans, you should be able to like, it's part of, I don't know. It's part of what we do. We should be supporting other creators. It's kind of on us without all of this expectation and return. The return, you're buying the product, which the product is good content, and you're supporting a person making that. Not like I hope that I can flip this, but I get it. I get both sides.
It's going to be hard for a content creator in crypto right now.
So
like, you know this better than anyone. There's just, we have a small audience for this podcast. We're trying to grow it, and like all crypto related products or projects, our audience is small. Our audience has a lot of money. I think we probably could launch a coin and make some money, but I don't think it would be the right thing for us to do.
No.
I actually like would rather just spend my own money to support like you putting your time and effort on this than to go and give traders something to buy because like me and you have followers. It just feels kind of scummy to me at some level, and I don't want to do it for this.
Yeah, and you already have the product coin. You already have the Clanker.
A coin
you already
I care
have
a lot about. It's already so much work, and like it takes up so much of my attention thinking about how to drive value to that coin. I do not need like another.
I just can't imagine having so many coins. Like I just can't imagine just coin after like every piece of content being.
I think like the only way you can have that is if your coins do not succeed in terms of like growing. Right. I see this all the time with Clanker. The people who launch the most coins are actually probably our least successful creators.
Right.
And it's not a criticism of them. It's just like, maybe they have a small audience that will buy their coins, but they are launching multiple coins because it's easier to launch than it is to grow value over time. And it's like
1,000%.
It's just, that's the fact. But it's not necessarily good. It's not like we should take that reality and structure like a fucking larger market around it. We should support the good coins.
Yeah. I mean, that is the beautiful thing of Clanker. Like, you've made it so easy to make a coin. You've made it so easy to create it. But the follow through, that's the tough part, I
think probably I've underestimated how important the like us talking about and getting attention on the good Clankers would be and is. I feel like it's the kind of foil of having it be really easy to create a coin, having good creator rewards. But like our kind of value system is purely like only the best win. You eat what you kill. Like you make slop, you're gonna fucking die. And we're proud of it. And I don't want to have to change that because I believe in that. That's authentically how I feel about coins.
Yeah, yeah. It's a wild town out there. Okay. I'm asking everybody out there who's watched this episode, please in the comments, write us on Twitter or X or Warpcast and let us know your thoughts on these coins. Like, let's make this an open conversation. Let's get this out there and share it. Hey, I
Yeah.
want to end this though with something a little special. Can you let us know any new Clanker news on a little high note? What's cool? What's happening?
Yes, I will.
Any cool
But
stuff?
first, I have to give one plug to my dear
Plug it.
friend Jesse, which is anyone who just listened to us talk critically about content coins should go read Jesse's really thoughtful response to some of my questions about content coins that I posted to him earlier today.
Do you have a link to that one?
Yeah, let me link it to you. I think that Jesse is like trying to figure out how to support creators, grow base, proliferate coins as a new model for monetizing content. And I think that there's something here that is super valid and worthy of experimenting. It doesn't mean I agree with him, but I think his response is super worth like taking the time to read through. And I'm just like always in favor of checking out both sides of a discourse.
I will tell you this too. I hope everybody. I really like Jesse. I mean, I think Jesse's the best, and I don't think there's no bad intentions coming from him.
There's definitely not. There's definitely not. And also, like, same goes for Zora. I have been super inspired by a lot of the work Zora's done. Jacob's writing is amazing. Anyone in crypto should read like what he's written about coins and crypto and content. But yeah, let's wrap it up. Clanker news. Okay, so I'm in New York. The Big Apple, as they call it. New York, great town. I'm here to build with a couple of members of our team who are based here, Lily and Bryce. It's been super fun so far. Today was our first day working in person, and there's nothing better than like getting to know the people you spend time working with all day.
Yeah.
And we are cooking up a ton of stuff. We have a very big kind of Clanker update that's in the works right now. And I can't get too deep into specifics, but what I can say is Clanker is building on Uniswap v4, which means we're kind of moving away from the 1% fee tier that we've been using for every single coin launched on Clanker. And we're starting to develop our own kind of custom model for like what we think will work for these coins in terms of fees. And it really doesn't look anything like projects that are live on Base right now. I think it's just going to be very different. And I'm super excited to share more there. What else can I tell you? People have been complaining so much about Clanker not getting listed on Coinbase that that we talked with the Coinbase team and like I really shouldn't say anymore, but I had to personally apologize to one of their team members because of angry DMs that they've been getting from Clanker holders who think that like something bad is going on. I think we'll see Clanker getting listed on Coinbase in the weeks ahead, which is super exciting. Nothing's changed as far as I know since Clanker was approved there. So I know that that's just my word, but I feel like people can chill out a little bit, or I hope they can. What else?
Yeah, people go hard.
FarCon. We're making some really sick merch, and we're gonna do a pretty cool drop. If you're a heavy Clanker trader, if you are one of our big supporters or one of our kind of premier creators, there might be a special little thank you coming your way. And if you're at FarCon, we'll do our best to get it to you in person. And if you're not, we'll send it to you. So I'm really excited to share that. And yeah, I mean, we're always cooking, man. Small team, big dreams. Super excited about like everything that we're working on. I know the markets are a bit rough, but you got to survive the low times to make it in the high times.
Facts, my man. Hey, one
Facts.
last thing. Can you tell me about the bot ending, the hex speak? What's up? What's up with this?
Oh, dude, yes. This is like literally probably my favorite feature
This is
live on
fun.
Clanker. I basically, a while back, I was like, team, engineers, devs, how can we have a Clanker vanity address? Moon Poppy, shout out my nephew Moon. He was also very supportive of this. Pump Fun has a version of this where every pump token has like the word pump
Yeah.
in the token contract. And so we spent a lot of time like thinking about different options. We ended up going with bot or B07, which is hex speak for, bot. It's a nice kind of nod to the original Clanker bot. And now every single token that launches via Clanker, anything, any interface, as long as they're using our API, will have these vanity contracts. And so
sick.
every contract will be different, but they'll all end in bot.
Also, it's such a great way for, as more, I think as Clankers become super, I don't know, normalized, they already basically are on base. It's just great to have that tag and to know like, hey, these are we know which coins to support if I'm just on Dex and I can just get this quick instant like, oh, okay, I know how that was launched. That's a good thing.
Honestly, I think it's just kind of a flex. Like, I love it. Shout out Carter for making this happen. Carter is like
hello,
such a crack dev and a huge asset on the Clanker team that I feel like doesn't get the limelight a bunch, but he made this happen. And yeah, I can't wait till like the first bot token crosses 100 million market cap.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. Well, you know what? As always, it was just a pleasure getting to sit down and chat with you. I'll also be in New York for FarCon, and so please, if you see me, say what's up.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see you at FarCon. I won't be at FarCon, but I'll be kind of lurking in like anon side events nearby. So yeah. Thanks for taking the time, brother. Always a pleasure to chat. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Peace.